Hello, everyone. It's Scott. Welcome back to the Wild Digest. Just a couple of quick little things since my last video. Number one, I finally did finish Ishmael, and I wanted to give you just sort of a quick little update about this book. I think it's a good book. It is not my favorite Star Trek novel by any stretch of the imagination. But as I mentioned in my previous video, I really like Barbara Hambly as an author, and I've read a lot of her fantasy work. I know she's written a ton of different stuff in a variety of genres. But as for a Trek novel, it's an okay book, but again, it's more focused on a single character, which makes it feel less like it's about a crew. Like, I mean, isn't Star Trek predominantly about a crew? But so that was my major issue with it. I'll spoil a few things, but a lot of this stuff more or less happens right on the first few pages. Spock is separated from the rest of the crew. He's believed to be killed, but in fact, he has traveled back in time to 1867 America, the West Coast. So it actually takes place sort of between San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle. It kind of bounces around there. He has lost his memory. He is discovered by a man who basically tells the people around him that it's his cousin, and he calls him Ishmael, of the title of the book's title, because Spock can't remember his name. He also can't remember he can't remember anything about the Enterprise, the Federation. He only gets these little weird flashes and bits and pieces as the story goes on. As for the rest of the crew, and honestly, they really only occupy about 8% of the book. Like 92% of the book is all Spock as Ishmael in the Western US in the 1800s, which is cute, but it gets a little tiring after a while, at least my opinion. But the rest of the crew is trying to figure out what happened, trying to even determine if Spock is still alive. And his memory just instantly comes back. The Enterprise crew shows up and rescues him. Spoilers. I mean, it's Star Trek. He's going to be rescued, and he's going to be okay, and he's going to be reunited with the crew of the Enterprise. The funny thing is, despite those criticisms, I think back to the very first audio drama I ever wrote for Big Finish Productions was The Juggernauts. And in that story, right at the beginning, the companion and the doctor are separated, and most of the adventure is actually stuff happening to the companion. So, this is a trope. It's been played with, in Star Trek multiple times. We had Kirk as Kirok losing his memory. We had City on the Edge of Forever with characters going back in time. We had oh gosh, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's multiple examples of main characters sort of being separated from the rest of the crew. Oftentimes, those stories were done for budgetary reasons because they didn't have to bring the whole cast in. But anyway, that's that. Ishmael's done. I don't know. I probably would give it like maybe 3 stars out of 5. But I mean, again, enjoyable read. I just don't know if it's a very strong Star Trek novel. Again, Perry's Planet. I'm reading that one right now, and we'll see how the rest of it goes. The other thing I wanted to show you is I tracked down this book by author Jack Kelly. I think it's set in the 1950s, a crime story. And I found a copy online on eBay, and the seller also had one of his other books, Line of Sight. So I bought the two as a lot. The main reason I got this book, and again, I've never read anything by him, but the main reason I tracked this down was it's actually set in my hometown of my original hometown of Rochester, New York. So I'm looking forward to reading a crime novel set in a city that I grew up in. I don't live there anymore. It's on the East Coast. But that should be a lot of fun. But not sure when I'll get to that. Maybe that'll be a nice holiday read or something like that. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was, and this is a bit of a rant. I ordered a book off of eBay. Gosh, it was the middle of last month, middle of July. And the seller, it stated that the seller was in New York. I suppose if I had dug deeper, maybe I would have realized that this seller actually is a book finder. I didn't really catch that until today. Anyway, it's been a bit of it's a saga now, as they say. The book has still not in my hands. It's been a month. Um, when I followed tracking, suddenly realized it was actually coming from the UK, and then it went to New York, I believe. And maybe not. It might have even skipped New York, because then there's an update on this weird tracking website where the book showed up in LA at LAX, which honestly is not super far from me. I mean, fly international out of that airport. And then last week on the 6th, I believe. Yeah, so that would have been what, Wednesday of last week as I record this. The book was released from customs and has sat there until today, which is now the 12th of August. And when I last checked, because now it's in the hands of the Postal Service, it is in Las Vegas, Nevada. So it was here in California, like 30 minutes away, 35 minutes away from me, and it is now another state east. This is infuriating. I know we've all had our shipping nightmares, and this definitely ranks up there highly for a single book, one book. And I'm not thrilled about this whole disaster. To be fair, I did pay media rate. That was the shipping that was offered. But this book is seeing more of the world than I have in the last few years. So when it comes, I'll be sure to share it with you. Some of you have a copy of this particular volume, and it was actually some of you who inspired me to get it. So I'm really hoping it shows up very, very soon, maybe by the end of the week. And if it does, I'll do a video and tie it in somehow. But anyway, that's just the latest little update. A little bit of Star Trek, book Trek stuff. A couple of new books that I picked up, and yeah, and a mysterious book which is somewhere out there. Anyway, we'll get all caught up with that stuff in the coming days, weeks. Gosh, I hope not. Talk to y'all later, and I'll have another book trek update for you once I get through Perry's Planet and maybe even the next one. So again, thanks for watching. I will catch you very, very soon. Take care.